Well, the most obvious thing in the world has just happened after months of everyone waiting and companies getting out of the way of the release date of Grand Theft Auto 6, the imminent release date of Grand Theft Auto 6 for later this year. It's no longer coming out in 2025. Rockstar has just announced that Grand Theft Auto 6 will be launching in May of 2026. So I guess we did technically kind of get the release date. It's just way further down the line than I don't want to say anyone was anticipating, because I think a lot of people were anticipating a delay, but definitely much later than they were intimating. This is, yeah, very easy to expect. I think we're at a point where Rockstar is a company that is making games that are so massive that getting them out on time is essentially impossible. Let's go ahead and read what they have written here. I have it right here. Grand Theft Auto 6 is now coming May 26, 2026. So, yeah, there's the release date, man. Hi, everyone. Grand Theft Auto 6 is now set to release on May 26th, 2026. We are very sorry that this is later than you expected. The interest and excitement surrounding a new Grand Theft Auto has been truly humbling for our entire team. We want to thank you for your support and your patience as we work to finish the game. With every game we have released, the goal has always been to try and exceed your expectations, and Grand Theft Auto 6 is no exception. We hope you understand that we need this extra time to deliver at the level of quality you expect and deserve. We look forward to sharing more information with you soon. Sincerely, Rockstar Games. Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear this. I am maybe a little bit on the side of, you know what, maybe that game could come out this year. I guess that's where I was sitting last. However, I did counterpick it in the fantasy league that I was in when I was at Giant Bomb. I counterpicked. I think Mike picked it. Mike or Jerf picked it. I can't remember who selected it. And I had like an early counter pick too. But everyone made such good picks. There weren't a lot of good options. So I'm like, I have to just take the chance that Grand Theft Auto 6 won't come out this year. Turns out that was accurate. But boy, this is far away. More than a year away now. And that does feel like a pretty significant delay. They were likely targeting, November for this year for this game. So this is a beefy delay, 6 months plus. And what does that enable them to do? Well, it's still not going to be a ton. This is, as usual, this is going to be about polish. It's going to be about making sure that the last 10% where a lot of games discover the fun. I always love to point to the development of God of War 2018, where that game was in rough shape until kind of the very end. And that's got to be true for most games, especially most big games, where they are trying to get all of these pieces to coalesce into something that is cohesive and really fun. And until those things actually come together, it's not fun. It's not cohesive. And it kind of feels pretty crappy. And so the amount of work done in that last 10%, that sprint to the finish, you kind of can't. As much as it's a sprint, you kind of can't rush that, because that is what's going to make or break the game at launch. And this is such a massive release. It is so important to Take-Two and Rockstar. It's so important to their future. There was a time when Rockstar would release one game a year. You go back and look at their release schedule, and whether it was a brand new game or some maybe they would do like a re-release or something like that, but they would at least have one release a year. And for a while there, it was like one new game, whether that was State of Emergency or whatever else that they were making. The Warriors, table tennis, they would have one game a year. They don't do that any longer. When they stopped? When they released Grand Theft Auto 5. And they stopped like making DLC even. And really that's because Grand Theft Auto Online is a money printing factory for them. Everyone understands this. I'm going over things that I'm sure all of you are very well aware of. But that just speaks to the importance of this launch to Rockstar, to Take-Two, because that money printing factory can't be turned off, or else they're in deep shit. So they need to get this launch right. And really, they got to get Grand Theft Auto Online 2, whatever that is. We still have not heard anything about that, one way or another, what that looks like, how they present it, how it links into the first Grand Theft Auto Online. We don't have like 1 ounce of information about what that's going to be. But we do know that they need something like that to support this game for the next 10 to maybe 15 years. Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. Don't expect a Grand Theft Auto 7 for, I would say, at least 10 years. But I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 15 or 20 years. I know, like, that makes me feel so, like, weird when I say it. Like, I literally just said that, and, like, my tummy did flips in my gut, where it's like, what am I talking? That is a human person being born and then going off to college, like, in that time. And I know that sounds absurd, but we're talking about these platforms. I mean, look at other platforms, other platform games. And that's really what they are trying to do out of the gate with Grand Theft Auto Online 2. I don't know if they're going to call it 2. This is going to maybe sound like an inaccurate analogy at first, but Roblox came out in 2006. That is almost 20 years ago now. And Grand Theft Auto Online 2, whatever they're going to do with it, they are absolutely going to want it to be more like Roblox than you realize. And we know that because of the acquisitions and the moves that Rockstar has made. They acquired that role-playing company that did all the work to make the role-playing community servers. That belongs to Rockstar now. Rockstar's made some efforts to acquire a lot of the UGC community aspects, companies that enabled people to build things and then use them in Grand Theft Auto. So building stuff by the community, letting it show up in the game, focusing on role play, or making that one of the pillars of the release. These are all the hallmarks of them. Like, hey, we're going to build our metaverse. They're not going to use that word. They shouldn't use that word. It's a terrible word. But they want to build a platform that's going to last for a very long time. And all of those plans, all of those efforts could be derailed if it has a catastrophic launch. If the launch is so bad that it kind of comes out of the gate rotten, that is like a lot of earnings and revenue that they will need that could be out the door. And really, it could spoil the thing forever. It could be the kind of, if it's such a catastrophic launch, there could be a point of no return. Now, I think we've seen that there are some games that are too big to fail. Cyberpunk 2077, right? That had a catastrophic launch. I don't know if people even think about that anymore because the story is turned around so hard at this point. But that launch was catastrophic. The news, not my show, the other show that's just called The News was like talking about how bad Cyberpunk 2077 was doing. PlayStation wouldn't sell the game anymore because of how much of a problem it was for them. And that game's just fine now. It ended up making a lot of money, ended up doing just fine. And so, at a certain level, there are games that are so big and make so much money out of the gate that they fix themselves through sheer will and brute force. And of course, that's going to be Grand Theft Auto. That aside, though, they don't want to be in that situation. In fact, they're desperately trying to avoid that situation. So the key here is going to be for them to have as smooth of a launch as possible. Now, I still think there's probably going to be a lot of problems. Grand Theft Auto Online 2, again, I keep calling it that. Who knows how they'll frame it? That will probably be a hot mess out of the gate. But if it is a hot mess, as opposed to showing up on ABC Nightly News with Lester Holt, I don't know if he's the one doing that. That's actually that's a big difference. That's a big gap. Like if you can get like a portion of your community sort of defending the game and saying, I see what they're going for, I'm going to stick with it. That's way different than everyone asking for refunds and you having to try to put out a flame in every corner of your game. So a big delay. And all of the factors that go into this delay are they're specific to the way the games work now, but at the same time, It's Rockstar, it's Grand Theft Auto. These games get delayed. Rockstar has, I think so someone's pointing out to me on social media, their last 4 games have all had multiple delays. So really, while we can go over all of the reasons why this game has to work right away, why they have to get things correct, the reality is these games are so big and have always been so big that it's really impossible for them to gauge how much time they really need, and they always get it wrong. So if you're like listening to me talk all this stuff, and you're like, no, they just always delay these games. Yep, you're right. You're 100% right, but there is higher stakes here than there has ever been before. This will almost certainly, in fact, I would be willing to bet money on it, that this is going to be the most expensive game ever made. And I don't think many of you are sitting there ready to argue with me. I bet we probably all tend to agree on that. And so the stakes are just inherently higher. But the expense is one thing. The potential earnings, that's really what they're worried about. They are worried about this game still making $1 billion a year 10 years from now. And they want to ensure the likelihood of that, to sort of protect the probability that this is a game that can make $1 billion a year at least for the next 10 to 20 years. That is going to be something that they take very seriously, and they're going to make sure that they get everything right as quickly as possible so that the launch can get to that point basically immediately. We'll see if that happens. May 26th, 2026. Is that right? Yep. What is that? 5/26. Excuse me. Yeah, 5/26/2026. All right. Let's go. I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm ready for a Grand Theft Auto. But I guess in the meantime, we'll have to. What's the Leslie Benzies game? Mind's Eye. It's a Mind's Eye year, everybody. 2025 is Mind's Eye. Let's go. That's Leslie Benzies used to work on Grand Theft Auto. He's launching this game like nowish. It's coming out very soon. And maybe it'll eat Grand Theft Auto 6's lunch. Who knows? All right. Thanks for watching. I'm Jeff Grubb. I'm doing a lot more of this now. You can follow me here, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, all that stuff. I also have a Patreon, patreon.com/Jeff Grubb, where I will be doing a lot more stuff like this. I'll be giving some early access videos there if you want to go ahead and support me. I'm independent now. So this is my job, and I am really looking forward to that. Time to bet on myself. If you've been seeing the news about me, I'm going to shout out everybody who's been very supportive. It's been incredible. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.